Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to Morning Stir and Through the Bible with Yolanda Worldwide here on YouTube. I'm so glad you are here. If you're joining in as a replay viewer, go ahead and leave your mark by giving me that hashtag replay. If you are brand new, let me know that as well. And please make sure you click that subscribe button like right now so that you don't miss anything in the future. And for my people who are joining in live, I'm so glad you're here. Number one, go ahead and greet me in whatever way you do in your part of the world. Number two, let me know where in the world you are joining in from. Number three, help me by clicking the little thumbs up on the screen. Number four, please help me share this broadcast far and wide. And number five, if you are, go ahead and let me know. I'm stirred up. I'm stirred up. And listen, if you're like me, I'm always stirred all the way up. We are going to dive straight in, begin with our due diligence and praying in the Spirit for a few moments. I will share anything the Lord lays upon my heart, and then we're going to dive straight into reading the Word of God. We're wrapping up Jeremiah this week and continuing on with Through the Bible. Let's begin to pray. Rakatadadabakorekerebata, rukatabakorekerebataya, randi ikarakata, rokotodedededebokorekerebataya, randi yalabakorekerebaya, rekedededebakorekerebata, rakatadadabakorekerebata, rande ki ikerededebakorekete, rakatanana makorekete, rakatadadadabakosha. Rikidididididibakurikidibataya. Rakatadadadadabakurikidibata. Rokotododododododobakurikedibata. Rakatadadadadadabakurikidibataia. Rikidididididibakurikedibakaya. Rokotodododobakurikedibata. Rakatadididiakurikedibataia. Rikididididibakurikedibata. Rakatadadadadabakurikidibata. Mandi ikarakata. Rikididididibakurikedibataia. Rikididididibakurikedibata. Rokotodododobakurikedibataia. Randi ikarakataya, rikadadadadabakorekerebata, rokotototobakorekete, rokototototobakorekerebata, mandi ikarakata, rikadadadadadabakorekerebata, rikadadadadadabakorekerebata, rakatadadadadadabakorekerebataya, rakatadadadadabakorekerebataya, rokototototobakorekerebata, rakatadadadadabakorekerebata, randi ikarakataya, rokototototobakorekerebata, Rakatadadadadadadabakurikidibataya. Rakatadadadadabakaya, rokodadadadabakurikiribataya, rakatadadadadabakurikiribataya, rakatadadadadadadabakurikiribata, rokodadadadabakurikiribata, rokodadadadadabakurikiribataya, randi ikarakatadadabakurikiti, rokodadadadabakurikiribata, randi ikarakatadadadabakurikiribata, rakatadadadadabakurikiribataya, randi yaladadadadabakurikiribata, mandi yaladadadadabakurikiribata, Rikididididibakurikidibataya, rakatatataya, rokotototototobokurikidibata, rokototototobokurikidibataia, rakatatatatatatatatabokurikidibata, rakatatatatatabokurikidibataia, mandi ikarakata, rokotototototobokurikidibata, randi ikarakata, rikididididididibakurikedibata, rakatatatatatabokurikidibata, rikidididididibakurikidibataya, rikidididididibakurikedibata, Rokotototototobakorekerebataya, rakatatatatatabakorekerebata, rakatatatatatabakorekerebata, reketetetetetebakorekerebataya, rokototototobakoreketetebahaya, mandi ikarakata, reketetetetebakorekerebata, rakatatatatatabakorekerebata, rokototototobakorekerebakaya, rakatatatatatabakorekerebata, rokototototobakorekerebataya. Randi yala de bakore kere bataya. Roko to the baya bakore kere bataya. Rakata da baya. Listen, I'm gonna shift earlier this morning than I ordinarily would because the Lord dropped in my spirit about a confirmation I received for anyone who joined me just a couple of nights ago for praying in the spirit. The Lord had me to break down the details of the spirit of Python and begin to deal with mental warfare and things that people had been going through. And a lot of people, a lot of the children of God had been dealing with mental warfare. Even I got hit with some high level witchcraft and that manifested in the way of mental warfare. And I know a lot of leaders don't speak up about things that they struggle with, but I believe in that because sometimes others who are people who follow us are struggling, but they think that they're weak and they don't think that leaders go through anything. But I can tell you firsthand that leaders do go through a lot. As a matter of fact, we're on the front lines being hit first. And the Lord brought so much exposure to that thing last week that I ended up teaching about it on praying in the spirit. But the tip of the iceberg is that last night at my church, this thing was called out by name. Not just the mention of spiritual warfare, but also that spirit of Python that has been running rampant recently throughout the body of Christ. And so, for those of you that have been struggling, that have been suffering, that have been feeling suffocation in the spiritual realm and even physically, like you can't move, that your momentum has been hit, like you just can't go forward, you can't do the things you know God has called you to do. I want you to know that the Lord has exposed that thing, that thing has been dealt with, and all you need to do is push through. I can tell you, I got a breakthrough. Listen, I've been praying in the spirit in this right here for an hour before I ever even got on with you. That is a breakthrough for me in and of itself. And so I want to encourage you today. I want to encourage you today. I am going to be sending out that teaching. I just decided to record it. I'm going to get it sent out this week. I hope that you'll get to watch it. It'll go out through my email list. And I'm also going to try to share it I am going to share it on my Facebook page, Yolanda Worldwide Facebook page. So be on the lookout for that because I want to encourage you regarding that today. I'm going to dive straight in and see how far we can get in the book of Jeremiah. Y'all, we're so close to getting done. Who knows? It might happen today. So let me dive straightway into that. We're starting at chapter 48 today. The message of Moab from God of the angel armies, the God of Israel, doom to Nebo, level to the ground, Kiriathim, demeaned and defeated the mighty fortress reduced to a molehill, Moab's glory, dust and ashes, conspirators plot, Heshbon's doom. Come, let's wipe Moab off the map, the city of madmen will be struck mute as killing follows killing. Listen, a cry out of Horonim, disaster, doom, and more doom. Moab will be shattered. Her cries will be heard clear down to Zor, up the ascent of Luhith. Climbers weep, and down the descent from Horonim, cries of loss and devastation. Oh, run for your lives. Get out while you can. Survive while your wits in the wild. You trusted in thick walls and big money, yes, but it won't help you now. Your big god, Shamash, will be hauled off, his priests and managers with him. A wrecker will wreck every city. Not a city will survive. The valley fields will be ruined, the plateau pastures destroyed, just as I told you. Cover the land of Moab with salt. Make sure nothing ever grows here again. Her towns will all be ghost towns. Nobody will ever live here again. Sloppy work in God's name is cursed, and curse all half-hearted use of the sword. Moab has always taken it easy, lazy as a dog in the sun, never had to work for a living, never faced any trouble, never had to grow up, never once worked up a sweat. But those days are a thing of the past. I'll put him to work at hard labor. That will wake him up to the world of hard knocks. That will smash his illusions. Moab will be ashamed of God Shamash, as Israel was ashamed of her Bethel calf gods. The calf gods, she thought, were so great. For how long do you think you'll be saying, we're tough, we can beat anyone anywhere? The destruction of Moab has already begun. Her choice young soldiers are lying dead right now. The king's decree, his full name, God of the angel armies. Yes, Moab's doom is on countdown. Disaster targeted and launched. Weep for Moab, friends and neighbors, all who know how famous he's been. Lament his mighty scepter, snapped in two like a toothpick. That magnificent royal staff, come down from your high horse, pampered beauty of Dibon. Sit in dog dung. The destroyer of Moab will come against you. He'll wreck your safe, secure houses. Stand on the roadside, pampered women of Aurora. Interview the refugees who are running away. Ask them what's happened and why. Moab will be an embarrassing memory, nothing left of the place. Wail and weep your eyes out. Tell the bad news along the Arnon River. Tell the world that Moab is no more. My judgment will come to the plateau cities on Holon, Zaza, and Mephaeth, on Dibon, Nebo, and Beth Diblathim, on Kerithim, Beth Gamul, and Beth Meon, on Kiriath, Basra, and all the cities of Moab, far and near. Moab's link to power is served. Moab's arm is broken. God's decree turned Moab into a drunken lush, drunk on the wine of the wrath, a dung face drunk, filling the country with vomit. Moab, a falling down drunk, a joke in bad taste. Wasn't it you, Moab, who made crude jokes over Israel? And when they were caught in bad company, didn't you cluck and gossip and snicker? Leave town, leave. Look for a home in the cliffs. You who grew up in Moab, try living like a dove who nests high in the river gorge. We've all heard of Moab's pride, that legendary pride, the strutting, bullying, puffed up pride, the insufferable arrogance. I know God's decree is rooster crowing pride, the inflated claims, the sheer nothingness of Moab. But I will weep for Moab. Yes, I will mourn for the people of Moab. I will even mourn for the people of Kerhirs. I'll weep for the grapevines of Sibma, and join Jazer in her weeping grapevines that once reached the Dead Sea with tendrils as far as Jazer. Your summer fruit and your bursting grapes will be looted by brutal plunderers. Lush Moab stripped of song and laughter. And yes, I'll shut down the wine presses, stop all the shouts and hurrahs of harvest. Heshbon and Elialah will cry out, and the people in Jahaz will hear the cries. They will hear them all the way from Zor to Horonim and Eglath, Shalishah. Even the waters of Nimrim will be dried up. I will put a stop in Moab, God's decree to all hiking to the high places to offer burnt sacrifices to the gods. My heart mourns for Moab and for the men of Kirhirs. Like soft flute sounds carried by the wind, they've lost it all. They've got nothing. Everywhere you look at for are signs of mourning, heads shaved, beards cut, hands scratched, and bleeding, clothes ripped and torn. In every house in Moab, there'll be a loud lamentation on every street in Moab, loud lamentation as with a pottery jug that no one wants. I'll smash Moab to bits, God's decree. Moab ruined, Moab shamed and ashamed to be seen. Moab a cruel joke, the stark horror of Moab. God's verdict on Moab indeed. Look, an eagle is about to swoop down and spread its wings over Moab. The towns will be captured, the fortresses taken. Brave warriors will double up in pain, helpless to fight like a woman giving birth to a baby. There'll be nothing left of Moab, nothing at all, because of his defiant arrogance against me. Terror and pit and trap are what you have facing you. Moab, God's decree, a man running in terror will fall into a trap. A man climbing out of a pit will be caught in a trap. This is my agenda for Moab on doomsday, God's decree. On the outskirts of Heshbon, refugees will pull up short, worn out. Fire will flame high from Heshbon, a firestorm raging from the capital of Sihon's kingdom. It will burn off Moab's eyebrows, will scorch the skull of the braggarts. That's all for you, Moab. You worshippers of Chemosh will be finished. Your sons will be trucked off to prison camps. Your daughters will be herded to exile. But yet there's a day that's coming when I'll put things right in Moab. For now, that's the judgment of Moab. Chapter 49. God's message to the Ammonites. Doesn't Israel have any children? No one to step into her inheritance. So why is the God Milcom taking over Gad's land? His followers moving into its towns, but not for long. The time's coming, God's decree, when I'll fill the ears of Rabbah, Ammon's big city, with battle cries. She'll end up a pile of rubble, all her towns burned to the ground. Then Israel will kick out the invaders. I, God, say so, and it will be so. Wail, Heshbon. Ai is in ruins. Villages of Rabbah, wring your hands, dress in mourning, weep buckets of tears, go into hysterics, run around in circles. Your God Milcom will be hauled off to exile, and all his priests and managers right with him. Why do you brag of your once famous strength? You're a broken down has been a cast off who fondles his trophies and dreams of glory days and vainly thinks no one can lay a hand on me. Well, think again. I'll face you with terror from all sides. Word of the master God of the angel armies, you'll be stampeded headlong with no one to round up the runaways. Still, the time will come when I will make things right with Ammon. God's decree, the message of God of the angel armies on Edom. Is there nobody wise left in famous Teman? No one with a sense of reality. Has their wisdom gone wormy and rotten? Run for your lives. Get out while you can. Find a good place to hide. You who live in Dedan, I'm bringing doom to Esau. It's time to settle accounts. When harvesters work your fields, don't they leave gleanings? When burglars break into your house, don't they take only what they want? But I'll strip Esau clean. I'll search out every nook and cranny. I'll destroy everything connected with him, children and relatives and neighbors. There'll be no one left who will be able to say, I'll take care of your orphans. Your widows can depend on me. Indeed, God says, I tell you, if there are people who have to drink the cup of God's wrath, even though they don't deserve it, why would you think you'd get off? You won't get off. You drink it. Oh, yes, you drink every drop. And as for Basra, your capital, I swear by all that I am, God's decree, that city will end up a pile of charred ruins, a stinking garbage dump, and obscenity, and all her daughter cities with her. I've just heard the latest from God. He sent an envoy to the nations. Muster your troops and attack Edom. Present arms, go to war. Ah, Edom, I'm dropping you to last place among nations, the bottom of the heap, kicked around. You think you're so great, strutting across the stage of history, living high in the impregnable rocks, acting like king of the mountain. You think you're above it all, don't you? Like an eagle in its eyrie. Well, you're headed for a fall. I'll bring you crashing to the ground, God's decree. Edom will end up trash, stinking, despicable trash, a wonder of the world in reverse. She'll join Sodom and Gomorrah and their neighbors in the sewers of history. God says so. No one will live there. No mortal souls move in there. Watch this, like a lion coming up from the thick jungle of the Jordan, looking for prey in the mountain pastures. I will come upon Edom and pounce. I'll take my pick of the flock, and who's the to top me? The shepherds of Edom are helpless before me. So listen to this plan that God has worked out against Edom, the blueprint of what he's prepared for those who live in Teman. Believe it or not, the young, the vulnerable, mere lambs and kids will be dragged off. Believe it or not, the flock in shock, helpless to help, will watch it happen. The very earth will shudder because of their cries, cries of anguish heard at the distant Red Sea. Look, at eagle soars, swoops down, spreads its wings over Basra. Brave warriors will double up in pain, helpless to fight, like a woman giving birth to a baby. The message of Damascus, Hamath, and Arpad will be in shock when they hear the bad news. Their hearts will melt in fear as they pace back and forth in worry. The blood will drain from the face of Damascus as she turns to flee. Hysterical, she'll fall to pieces, disabled, like a woman in childbirth. And now, how lovely, bereft, abandoned, the once famous city, the once happy city, her bright young men dead in the streets, her brave warriors silent as death. On that day, decree of the God of the angel armies, I'll start a fire at the wall of Damascus that will burn down all of Ben Hadad's forts. The message on Kedar and the Shikdams of Hazar, who were attacked by Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. This is God's message. On your feet, attack Kedar, plunder the Bedouin nomads from the east, grab their blankets and pots and pans, steal their camels, traumatize them, shouting terror, death, doom, danger everywhere. Oh, run for your lives, you nomads from Hazar. God's decree. Find a safe place to hide. Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, has plans to wipe you out, to go after you with a vengeance. After them, he says, go after these relaxed nomads who live free and easy in the desert, who live in the open with no doors to lock, who live off by themselves. Their camels are there for the taking, their herds and flocks easy picking. I'll scatter them to the four winds, these defenseless nomads on the fringes of the desert. I'll bring terror from every direction. They won't know what hit them. God's decree. Jackals will take over the camps of Hazar. Camps abandon the wind and sand. No one will live there. No mortal soul move in there. God's message to the prophet Jeremiah on Elam at the outset of the reign of Zedekiah, king of Judah. This is what God of the angel army says. Watch this. I'll break Elam's bow, her weapon of choice, across my knee. Then I'll let four winds loose on Elam, winds from the four corners of the earth. I'll blow them away in all directions, landing homeless Elamites in every country on the earth. They'll live in constant fear and terror among enemies who want to kill them. I'll bring doom to them. My anger fueled doom. I'll set murderous hounds on their heels until there's nothing left of them. And then I'll set them up on my throne in Elam, having thrown out the king and the henchmen. But the time will come when I make everything right for Elam again. God's decree. Chapter 50. The message of God through the prophet Jeremiah on Babylon, land of the Chaldeans. Get the word out to the nations. Preach it. Go public with this. Broadcast it far and wide. Babylon taken. God Bel hanging his head in shame. God Marduk exposed as a fraud. All her God idols shuffling in shame. All her play gods exposed as cheap frauds. For a nation will come out of the north to attack her, reduce her cities to rubble, empty of life, no animals, no people, not a sound, not a movement, not a breath. In those days, at that time, God's decree, the people of Israel will come and the people of Judah with them, walking and weeping. They'll seek me, their God. They'll ask directions to Zion and set their faces towards Zion. They'll come and hold tight to God, bound in a covenant eternal. They'll never forget my people were lost sheep. Their shepherds led them astray. They abandoned them in the mountains where they wandered aimless through the hills. They lost track of home. couldn't remember where they came from. Everyone who met them took advantage of them. Their enemies had no qualms. Fair game, they said. They walked out on God. They abandoned the true pasture, the hope of their parents. But now get out of Babylon as fast as you can. Be rid of the Babylonian country. On your way, good sheepdogs, lead, but don't be led. Don't you be led. Lead the way home. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm rallying a host of nations against Babylon. They'll come out of the north, attack and take her. Oh, they know how to fight these armies. They never come home empty-handed. Babylon is ripe for picking. All her plunderers will fill their bellies, God's decree. You Babylonians had a good time while it lasted, didn't you? You lived it up, exploiting and using my people, frisky cows romping in lush pastures, wild stallions out having a good time. Well, your mother would hardly be proud of you. The woman who bore you wouldn't be pleased. Look at what's come of you, a nothing nation, rubble and garbage and weeds, emptied of life by my holy anger, a desert of death and emptiness. Travelers who pass by Babylon will grasp appalled, shaking their heads at such a come down. Gang up on Babylon, pin her down, throw everything you have against her, hold nothing back, knock her flat. She's sinned. Oh, how she's sinned against me. Shout battle cries from every direction. At all the fight has gone out of her. Her defenses have been flattened, her walls smashed. Operation God's vengeance. Pile on the vengeance. Do to her as she has done. Give her a good dose of her own medicine. Destroy her farms and farmers. Ravage her fields. Empty her barns. And you captives, while the destruction rages, get out while the getting's good. Get out fast and run home. Israel is a scattered flock, hunted down by lions. The king of Assyria started the carnage. The king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, has completed the job, gnawing the bones clean. And now this is what God of the angel armies, the God of Israel, has to say. Just watch. I'm bringing doom on the king of Babylon and his land, the same doom I brought on the king of Assyria. But Israel I'll bring home to good pastures. He'll graze on the hills of Carmel and Bashan, on the slopes of Ephraim and Gilead. He will eat to his heart's content in those days and at that time. God's decree, they'll look high and low for a sign of Israel's guilt, nothing. Search nook and cranny for a trace of Judah's sin, nothing. These people that I've saved will start out with a clean slate. Attack Marathon, land of rebels. Go after Pekod, country of doom. Hunt them down, make a clean sweep. God's decree, these are my orders. Do what I tell you. The thunderclap of battle shakes the foundation. The hammer has been hammered, smashed, and splintered. Babylon pummeled beyond recognition. I set out a trap, and you were caught in it. Oh, Babylon, you never knew what hit you, caught and held in the steel grip of that trap. That's what you get for taking on God. God, opened my arsenal. I brought out my weapons of wrath. The master God of the angel armies. God has a job to do in Babylon. Come at her from all sides. Break into her granaries, shovel her into piles and burn her up. Leave nothing, leave no one. Kill all her young Turks. Send them to their doom. Doom to them. Yes, doomsday. The clock has finally run out on them. And here's a surprise. Runaways and escapees from Babylon show up in Zion, reporting the news of God's vengeance. Take vengeance from my own temple. Call in the troops against Babylon. Anyone who can shoot straight Tighten the noose. Leave no loopholes. Give her back as good as she gave. A dose of her own medicine. Her brazen insolence is an outrage against God, the Holy of Israel, and now she pays her young strewn dead in the streets, her soldiers dead silent forever. God's decree. Do you get it, Mr. Pride? I'm your enemy. Decree of the Master God of the angel armies. Time's run out on you. That's right. It's doomsday. Mr. Pride will fall flat on his face. No one will offer him a hand. I'll set the town's on fire. The fire will spread wild through the country. And here's more from God of the angel armies. The people of Israel are beaten down, the people of Judah along with them. Their oppressors have them in a grip still. They won't let go. But the rescuer is strong, God of the angel armies. Yes, I will take their side. I'll come to their rescue. I'll soothe their land, but rough up the people of Babylon. It's all out war in Babylon. God's decree. Total war against the people, leaders, and the wise. War to the death of the boasting pretenders, fools at one and all. War to the death of the soldiers, cowards to a man. War to the death on her hired killers, guilt wonders. War to the death on her banks looted. War to the death on her water supply drained dry. A land of make believe, God's crazy hoodlums. The place will be haunted with jackals and scorpions, night owls and vampire bats. No one will ever live them again. And we've got to stop right there until tomorrow.